Joining me now is PFL lightweight Johnny Case, who is going to partake in the 2021 tournament. The roster was announced this morning. Johnny, man, how excited are you to finally have some PFL news come out, man?
Man, I am so pumped. You know what I mean? Like this year off has been so hard for so many reasons, you know. One, there's no money coming in, but two, you know, I lost my opportunity to fight for another world title this year. And, you know, now that the 2021 season has been announced, I see the roster of just nothing but awesome matchups and potential killers. So I'm really looking forward to this season, man.
Yeah, and talk to me about how difficult this past year was. I know fighters from PFL, some of them voiced frustration, some of them competed elsewhere. For you, what was the year like mentally? What did you think about trying to take bouts elsewhere? Like, kind of just talk to me about from the last time we saw you fight till now. You know, what exactly were you up to?
You know, I was trying to get some like grappling competitions lined up. I was also talking with Bryson to try to get a kickboxing bout lined up. But I didn't really want to do anything that was going to jeopardize my chance to fight in this upcoming PFL season. So I kind of stayed away from the MMA, and you know, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any mat time, whether it's grappling or kickboxing. But I've been training hard, and I've made a lot of improvements over this year, and I'm excited to get in there and show the world what I got.
And the last time I spoke with you was actually a cameo. I was interviewing your Eddie Cha. You guys were over in Korea, and you kind of snuck in the camera. So what was that experience like? I got to imagine that was pretty neat going over there and working with the Korean Zombie in his home country for a big fight like Ortega.
Yeah, man, it was an experience I'll never forget. That's for sure. You know, for the first thing we had to get there, and it was like 2-week quarantine, but it wasn't like 2-week quarantine here in the States. It was like they broke us up and put us into these different rooms, and we couldn't leave the room. If we left the room, we had to, you know, they were going to arrest us and throw us in jail, and our 2 weeks would start over. So that was kind of you know, an event to get through at the beginning. But then, yeah, the training was awesome. Zombie and his wife are such good people. Like, they took us out to eat at all the best spots for every meal. Like, it was a good experience, and it was kind of unfortunate that he didn't go out there and perform the way he performs, but it was still a good experience, and I'd be happy to go do it again.
Yeah, perhaps giving you a little perspective about some international fighters when they come to train with you guys. So that's interesting. And from a skills perspective, or I guess from what did you learn from that experience? I know you were there for Zombie, but I'm assuming you got some pretty solid lessons out of it as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I honestly, like the best thing that came out of it was that 2-week quarantine. You know what I mean? Like I never realized like how much I distracted myself with things, you know, with training, with food, with, you know, whatever it may be. But that 2 weeks of just sitting with yourself and only yourself and writing your thoughts down and stuff, like that was the most like spiritual awakening thing that I could have went through. You know what I mean? So I'll definitely, I definitely hold that at the top of the list for things that I benefited out of that experience.
Sure, man. That's really interesting. And maybe perhaps give you a new perspective coming into these fights. And you talked about, you saw the roster and it made you excited. When you look at the field of combatants that you're going to potentially be paired up with, you know, what do you think? Do you think there's a lot of challenges? Do you feel pretty confident in your abilities? Kind of give me your read on the other guys you're going to be going up against.
No, for sure. I mean, the roster is stacked. You know what I mean? The as far as lightweights go, you know, Nathan, the back-to-back champion. Obviously, that would be a fight that I would like to get back and get a W over that draw. Pettis, you know, what a legend of the sport. You know, I've been watching Pettis since way back in the WEC. What an honor that would be to fight him. You know what I mean? To beat a legend like him would be awesome, you know. And you know, Aubin Mercier, the Canadian kid, he's tough. I've seen him in the UFC. I thought we were going to match up a couple times. But yeah, I mean, there's tough fights. All these guys, even the guys that I've never really even heard of, the Russian, the European guys, like, you know, they all got good records, and you know, they fought tough people. So I'm not looking past anybody, and I'm really looking forward to the potential matchups.
And then a Tan Schulte rematch. I think that was even kind of outlined in the PFL the press release that went out today. It said, you know, Johnny Case, the only man to draw with him, whatever it was, but clearly a fight that I'm assuming you want back. And I think it goes to show you from what we've seen from him since you guys fought, like, you know, if for how good he is, you're a real contender in this whole thing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, you know, I feel like I've really made the most improvements of my skill set over the last year fighting with Ryzen, fighting in Japan. You know, being that consistent with my fights. You know, I think I had 5 fights that year. So, you know, and I was always in the gym, and I was loving. You know, it was a new rule set, so it was like invigorated as far as like learning how to fight a new fight style. So, you know, and to go through that and to get all those improvements, and then to have to take a year off, it was kind of disheartening. But we kept the ball rolling on our time off. You know, even though that we don't have fights, it's, you know, you don't have to stay active, especially when you've had as many fights as I've had. You don't really have to stay as active to get better. As long as you're training and taking care of your body and doing the things you need to do, like, you know, I've been able to really make a lot of improvements. So I'm excited to show that.
Gonna be weird fighting in a cage again with normal rules.
It's gonna be awesome fighting in a cage. So the thing, like a cage is a weapon. You know what I mean? It's a weapon where you can push guys against it and cook them, and it's also a weapon and a tool that you can use to get up off the ground. So I prefer fighting in the cage, and I'm excited to fight in the cage again.
Okay, and I need like some sort of prediction here. I know. Do you guys know when? Like, do you know your specific date yet of when you're gonna fight or anything?
Yes, I'm April 23rd.
Gotcha. So you're gonna be right off the bat. So you obviously got a long ways ahead of you before you get to New Year's Eve, but kind of map it out for me. What do you think in the journey for Johnny Cases in the 2021 PFL season?
You know, I think my first matchup's probably going to be like Ahmed Aliyev or that Loic, the kid that was a finalist last year, to Nathan. I think I see probably one of those guys the first round. Then, you know, I don't know. Hopefully, maybe I can get Nathan back and get a 3-round fight before we start the playoffs. I think that'd be nice to do as well. So, you know, and then ideally I'd like to fight Pettis in the New Year's Eve for that title. So that's the goal, and I'll take out whoever I got to take out to get to that road.
That'll be a hell of a fight, man. And well, whoever it is and whatever type of journey you have to take, best of luck. Appreciate the time, Johnny.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time too.